I was looking through an old photo album recently of my days playing in this band that I was in for like 9 years back in the 1970s. Yeah, I'm 66 years old, so I've been doing this a little while. Anyway, I was thinking I've had this YouTube channel since like August of 2021. And I have around 8 videos. I think I got one short. And I thought no one even knows anything about my music journey. So thought I would share a bit of my music recording studio history. I thought it'd be a fairly short video. It ended up being a 2-part video with one part going from like 1971, being in a band, even had a record deal, a record contract. Part 1 concludes around 1981. I hope you enjoy this story, and maybe it's similar to your music or recording journey. So anyway, hi, I'm Kevin, and I have a huge music addiction. So anyway, here we go. So briefly, I thought I'd share a bit about my parents' showbiz history, which is kind of interesting. My mom kind of dropped out of college when she was younger, and she took a singing job on the radio back in New York. And she sang in a group called the Vocalettes, long time ago, even singing at Radio City Music Hall. And she had professional management with other talented people like Rodney Dangerfield, that was always kind of after her because of her management. Back then he was known as Jack Roy. And my dad was a professional tap dancer. He was an instructor. He used to go golfing in New Milton Berle, was a friend of his. And he was in an act called The Vagabonds. He also had a tap dance TV show in New York. He and my mom ran this tap dance. He had like 3 dance studios in New York, with one of them being in the basement of our house in New York. But unfortunately, shortly after my 5th birthday, my dad had passed away, so I don't have that many memories of him. And in 1971, I was in summer school. I was taking math. I was going to be left back to the 6th grade, not the greatest student. There I met this guy named Jerry, who was also in fear of being left back, so we became friends quickly with both of us, being musicians, sort of, Jerry told me that he was starting a band and asked if I'd be his drummer. We were kind of talking about it, so I said, yeah, of course. And though this band was going to be a gospel band, which was disappointing to me. I wanted to be in a regular band, just a secular band. But I was going to be in a band, so yay, of course. So Jerry and I dragged my drum set about a mile. I think it took us 1 or 2 trips, dragging it over to his garage. Your typical garage band, He already had this other guy that sort of played guitar. Can't remember his name. But he left shortly after that. And and at 12 years old, Jerry had already written probably a dozen songs, believe it or not. With the first song that he'd written, he co-wrote with a member of the Archers. I think the song was called Snowflakes, or I think it was called Love Will Be an Everlasting Thing, actually. And the Archers were a really successful gospel band at that time. They were playing here from California at the time. So anyways, we practiced like 3 days a week, and Jerry was getting increasingly frustrated with my drumming. not my drumming per se, but just because I couldn't keep time. You know, I would speed up and slow down. You know, but I was good with fills and, you know, rudiments and playing in different time signatures. But I just wasn't solid. And so I thought the days of me being in a band were just about over because of that. So anyways, Jerry lost that other guitar player. So he began to teach me how to play guitar. And with those 3 chords and a $12 guitar, I think it was, that I had, he started to teach me how to play and how to strum, and I practiced all the time. I especially loved his strumming style kind of thing. So I've got a guitar right here. Let me kind of show you what I was talking about here. I thought I'd do this right. So long time ago, so Jerry would, I think the songs that we played back then were like basically E, A, D, C, you know, and he would strum, you know, he said, you know, strum like this, you know. So that was kind of the way we ended up, you know, kind of playing along with each other, you know, which as I got better, I grew to be kind of a lead guitar player. My guitar playing became a natural fit for me, and I became the lead guitar player within a very short period of time. And it worked out well because he would play rhythm guitar and I needed to do something that wasn't the same as what he did. And at first this band was called the Living Letters, and later, probably within a year, became Omega 3, which went on for like 8 years after that. And Jerry's singing and writing was improving every day. So the band was playing, and we had different people in the band all the time. And we were playing at different places every weekend. And by the time we had our driver's licenses, Jerry booked us to play at Christian coffee houses and churches and outdoor events, indoor events. And the only money we ever earned were love offerings. So we barely had enough money to pay for gas and food. And we would play at coffee houses, and for like Saturday and Sunday in Colorado Springs, and we'd stay the night there in the coffee house. So one of my very first leads that I did, and I'll let you hear a little bit of this piece, but this was, if I remember right, it went like kind of hard to remember that. So that was one of the lead guitar pieces that I did, you know. So I think it was like around 1979, Jerry gave me this huge news that this guy that ran one of the biggest recording studios in Colorado and happened to be a Christian musician, recording artist, producer, wanted Jerry and I to come to the studio with our guitars and play a few of our best songs for some record executives that were in Colorado. We were so nervous. So I think it was only days later that Jerry told us that they wanted to sign us, and we were kind of blown away, you know. So, you know, this was going to be our big next, big step anyway. So the deal was we were going to make an album and a single. The album would be on cassette only, since Soundmark did all their cassettes in-house. They had this big factory thing upstairs. And we would sell these at the places that we played. Excuse me. So Jerry did a few radio interviews, and our music was played on Christian radio in Colorado occasionally. We had a manager, and we were booked all the time. And Jerry was in charge of everything. And I was getting a little tired of being in a band that didn't pay anything. I didn't really want to be in a gospel band. It just wasn't my thing. And Jerry, of course, was getting tired of doing everything. He was the lead singer, the writer. He did more bookings than our manager did. And after about 9 years of being with the Living Letters and Omega 3, we kind of broke up. It felt kind of like a divorce, and Jerry and I really didn't even talk for a little while, and it was short-lived. We were talking later than that, But I went on for another year or so, trying to do some other different music stuff. But after about 2 years, I sold all my music gear and kind of changed my whole direction for a while. And Jerry went on to be in a really fantastic gospel band that was formed called Dominion, with another lead singer writer. And he was in that band for a few years, till later on he eventually moved to Seattle. And so anyway, this is where I'm going to kind of end this. This is kind of the 1970s till around 1982, and I'm already starting to make a 1982 till present time, which little easier video to make. Remember a lot of what happened during the times from 83 till now. Just going to basically talk about the music stuff, which really started in the 1990s, where I kind of got back into music again. So anyways, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're still around after this long story of my musical journey up into the early 1980s. So stay tuned. I'll get the second part of this up and posted soon. Till then, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm hopefully going to grow this channel a little bit more. At this time, I think I have like 44 subscribers, maybe. So love to get a little bigger. Anyways, we'll see you real soon, and thanks again.